Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. If you're joining me this afternoon, if you could just give me a little comment, I'll try to keep my eye on the comments. We're having a very rainy afternoon here in South Central Missouri, and I think I'm just a little crooked. So we shall see if I can fix it. I got on once a little bit earlier, a couple of minutes earlier, and I was upside down. So thankfully I am right side up this time. Just a little crooked. Okay, I think that looks better. Okay, it's 2:03 here in the Central Time Zone, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I hope that my customers got their free mini catalog in the mail sometime this last week. If not, it should be there soon. And I can't show you the inside until September the 4th. But it does have a very pretty outside with all these little houses. And so as you can imagine, that's probably a stamp set that's in there. I'm going to be showing you, I have a stack of new things that I've bought from the online exclusives and from the early pre-order for the mini. So I'm just going to kind of take the next couple of days to go through them rather than try to rush through them all at the same time. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Nest of Winter suite. And demonstrators could pre-order this back in June, I think it was. So I've had it for a little while, but I don't think I did a video on it. So that's why I thought I'd start with this one. And it's on page 31 of this mini catalog. I'm going to put this away so I'm not tempted to open it. So I always like to show you the colors that are going to be in the DSP. These are the colors: Real Red, Shaded Spruce, Pumpkin Pie, Gray Granite, Granny Apple Green, Garden Green. Lots of colors in these. Daffodil Delight, Crushed Curry, Copper Clay, we're getting there. Coastal Cabana, Cherry Cobbler, Blueberry Bushel, which we very rarely see Blueberry Bushel in a DSP, and Basic Black. So these are the color palette that makes these papers. So now let's look at what designs we have. Set these aside so I don't get them mixed up. So I'm going to turn this one this way. This looks like a whole page of Pussy Willows, which is something that you see in the fall. And this side is kind of like birch tree wood or panels. So that's very pretty. And then we have these beautiful birds here. And this would be good. You could make, almost cut it in half and make 6 cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 cards out of it, and have just this as your card front. Not much else you would really have to do to it if you didn't want to. And then the back is just very little. I think maybe they look like snowflakes. Let me put my glasses on. Well, I'm not for sure. They kind of look like little plus signs. But it's just a nice textured look to it. Then here are birch trees with birds flying. This too would make a great card front. And you could decorate it more, or you could just have this and a greeting, and that would be great. On the back of this one is, I want to say, These kind of remind me of dandelions, but the tops do, but not the stems. So I'm not really sure what these are, but they're pretty. And then there's every once in a while just a little bitty gray bird sitting in between the flowers. Now this one, later on when we look at the dies, there's a die that will cut out this bird and these two birds. It'll cut them out perfect. And then you could always fussy cut out some of the holly berries if you wanted to. But that's always nice when you have a die that will cut out the paper. And on this side is some like Coastal Cabana little diamond shape, just a pattern. Then we have this one, and these birds are easy to fussy cut, and you can also fussy cut the little pine cones here. And on the back of this one is stripes of green, which would be nice maybe for a Christmas card or even for just a birthday card or something with the birds on the front. Now here are some more birds. These you would have to cut out yourself because they don't match the dies, or you could just use the paper as a background. And on the back of this is some shaded spruce, which I think is very pretty. Although I usually don't like shaded spruce. I kind of like it when it's lighter like this, not quite as bright. So that is the DSP. Very pretty, especially if you like birds. Don't forget that if you're here and comment, that would be great. I always like to know who's watching my videos. And I have my laptop here so that I can see when somebody hops on and says something. Okay, the next thing in the suite is this neutral tones linen thread. So I'm going to say that's almost like garden green, copper clay, and probably Night of Navy, but they're all neutral colors, so they would really go with any of the sheets of paper that I just showed you. So it's always nice to have some twine. Here are the embellishments. These again are earth tone shimmer gems. And if you can see, they have, it doesn't really say the colors, but this kind of maybe looks like a light pecan pie. They have beige, they have spruce, and they have white. Or this might be, yeah, white. Maybe a little vanilla. It's kind of hard to tell. Let me hold a piece of white paper up to them. Oh, they're probably more vanilla than they are white. But they make nice embellishments for your cards. Then next we have the dies. So here I cut some things out with the dies that you can see. There's the leaves, or the ferns that it cuts out, some pussy willows that you stamp and cut out, or it'll just cut out that shape and you could color the stem with early espresso or pecan pie, whatever you like. So let's see what other ones we have. So another one we have is, this is the one that cuts out the double birds. I might as well get out the stamp set too, as long as we're talking about this. So see, it will either cut out this double bird after you stamp it, or it will cut out the double bird in the DSP. This is the single bird that we saw on that same page that you could cut out. Or if you wanted to, you could stamp and color this one in and cut it out. It fits right there. Then here are the leaves. Here's a branch. No, I must have lost my branch. It was so little, but it's just like a little branch that I guess you could put these leaves onto if you wanted to. And this is the swag that's up here. And you could cut that out and color it in. And this makes a frame around the whole card. So I will show you that when I get to showing you samples. I have 7 samples today of this stamp set. So I've been playing with it a lot. And the words in here are sending thanks and much love, thinking of you always. A friend like you brings me happiness. So very nice greetings in there. I'm going to put this away so that I do not lose any of my dies. I'm going to set these over here. One more thing that's in the suite is this embossing folder. It is called, I made myself little notes, Birchwood embossing folder. And it's a 3D one, so I'm hoping that you can see the details on here. And this is one of our new large embossing folders. You can actually fit, well, if you want it to go this way with the grain, you could fit 2 in there. Let me show you one of our regular embossing folders so you can see how much bigger. This is the distressed brick wall. Look how much longer it is. So that way for sure you can get the whole front and you can lay it in different places. It's great. I'll put these over here. Excuse my dog. He's decided that there's somebody out across the street, I guess. Okay, so here's the first one. Here's where we used that die that I told you made a frame. And these are kind of 2 of the same. Stampin' Up! Had a little class, and I made this one and you stamped and colored and cut it all out. But when I did one for my class, that by mail, people may not have had the stamp set to do that. So instead we cut a bird out of the paper, and I had these leaves in, I think maybe the perennial lavender, if that's the name of it, but it's the lavender set. And so either way, it looks great. This is cut out. This is stamped, colored, and then cut out. So, and then saying, a friend like you, it brings me happiness. Here is another one that I stamped and cut out. They're like little yellow birds. I used the light Daffodil Delight on these, and cherry cobbler, and pecan pie, pumpkin pie, pecan pie, peach pie. We have lots of pies now. And then I put some of these pussy willows. I should have left them white, but I kind of colored them in with pecan pie. That one says, thinking of you always. Now, what I did for this one is I used the inside. When I cut this out, there was an inside to it. And so we laid that down. Then we took our blending brush and we did real dark mossy metal around the outside. Then we took it and flipped it, let's see, 45, 90 degrees. And then we had it, well, not 90, actually 180, I guess, 180 degrees. And then we did it again, and we just used a lighter touch. So you can see some lighter branches there. We stamped this on smoky slate and colored it in with watercolor pencils and blending brushes. And then we just kind of made these be, well, they kind of look like wild wheat when you do it onto the gray. But it turned out very nicely. And then a little bow and sending thanks. Okay, here is another one that uses that pussy willow paper. Hi, Judy. I hope you're enjoying these cards now that you have the set. You'll be able to make some samples too. This one, again, I made the pussy willow paper, and I cut the birds out so I didn't have to color them in. And then I stamped the pussy willows, colored in the branch, and stuck some of those in there. And then a few of the embellishments. They're kind of hard to see because I used that beige color. I probably, here's that third one. I probably should have used a a darker color, but I didn't know. I knew the green wouldn't go with it. And here we have 2 Pussy Willows stamped on the inside. I love this one. This one I decided to do a Christmas theme with this set. So this is that light shaded spruce DSP that we saw when I was showing you. And look how nice the dark shaded spruce shows up in the embellishments. And I stamped and colored and cut out the swag part. Then all these birds and the pine cones I cut from the DSP. They're really fast and easy to cut. And this is a new Seasons of Peace stamp set in the mini catalog and die. And it fit right, very nice right there in the middle. I think I should have come, at first when I was doing it, I was going to put the greeting down here, but then when I finished, I thought, oh, I got that new die and it'll fit right in the middle. So now I'm up a little bit too high on my card, but I couldn't think of anything else to put at the bottom. Let me see, it looks like I have and I had an extra pine cone. I might go ahead and cut a couple more pine cones and put them inside here. I just had one extra when I was making the card. And then here is another Christmas one, which I had a lot of fun doing this one. So this is the Birchwood DSP. This is gray granite so that it matches the gray granite in the DSP. I stamped and cut these out, and I tried to color them like a male and a female cardinal. So I used my Real Red blending pens and my black Stampin' Write marker to do. And this one I kind of used, I used crumb cake, I used some ivory, I used some dark crumb cake, and then I used my color lifter to kind of make it lighter because she's very, besides her beak and a little bit of red in her wing and on her tail, she doesn't have much color. So I tried to mute her colors by using the color lifter. And I colored these in with cherry cobbler, this with pecan pie. Then this is another from that same Seasons of Peace that I showed you. It has, and I'm going to show you more things made with that at another date. But one has this band that says Merry, then you can cut out the word Christmas. It had some red rhinestones that worked really great. And so now I have 2, I'm on my way to my Christmas card. I have 2 finished so far. I hope that you enjoyed these cards and getting to see a sneak peek. I'm going to try my hardest to be on tomorrow afternoon. And I have another new set to show. It's an online exclusive. It's called Frosted Forest. And I've started making up some samples with it today. Obviously, look, I have some Lost Lagoon on my arms, some Cajun Craze on my fingers. But I've been working on that. It's a set of different trees, and I think that you'll really enjoy those. And if you have any questions or about this or about anything else Stampin' Up, you can message me or put a comment on my post, and I'll be glad to help you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Bye.